Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am your cruise director on the Magical Mystery Tour. Today we are revisiting a brand that I haven't really used much of for such a long time. I've gone out and bought nearly a full face of Max Factor. Is it any good? Is it past its time? We will see shortly, but first don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's go see what I've picked up. So I don't have quite a full face. I did pick up some stuff. I have got this. I had for a while a primer. I've picked up a new Serum foundation. I've got a powder, a bronzer, a highlighter, which is really obviously going to be the wrong shade, but it was the only one that they had. I've got a brow pencil, a kohl pencil, eyeshadow, and liquid blush. So I am missing mascara, I am missing lip products, and I am missing concealer. Concealer I'm not too worried about. I'm not going to use a concealer at all today. We'll just use a different mascara and I'll just use a sheer lip product. Thought that I'd had it but cleaned out in my declutter, so I didn't want to go back there. So I've just put my glasses on because I want to read this out. So Max Factor was founded in 1909, so it's been around for like 115 years as Max Factor and Company. Specialised in movie makeup, which most of us generally knew until its 1973 sale for $500 million, approximately 3.6 billion in 2017 dollars. So I did a lot of movie makeup, really famous for the pan stick makeup, which I think all of us have worn at various stages, but it's been discontinued in America. So if you're watching from overseas and this interests you, I am really sorry. I didn't even think about that. But it is still for sale here, though. I noticed there was a full float, full gondola at Priceline. I think they're starting to go out of it maybe at Chemist Warehouse, because I did do a search. I haven't looked in my local Chemist Warehouse, but I thought I'll have a look and see if there's anything available for click and collect. And there was literally only half a dozen products online. So I don't know if they're going to continue here, if it's going to end up winding up, because we don't really hear anything about them, do we? But anyway, there is a product that I have used once, which I love, which if you have watched the dupes video, you will know what that is. But we'll start off with the Miracle Glow for priming. I think part of the, oh, this hasn't been used for a while, it's got a clumpy bit in it. I think part of the problem with them is they're a bit dearer, a bit more expensive than like Maybelline, CoverGirl, and now we've got brands like NYX and Milani, and Makeup Revolution that are doing great products at a more affordable rate. So this was sort of a masstige product that filled that gap in between and was not super savvy, but oh, there's a bit of fluff on my nose. Not super savvy, but also not high end enough. So look, I'm making a mess of myself. I've got that all through my eye. What am I doing? All through my lashes. Jeepers. So I think that it's got a reputation of being an old brand. It is an old brand, but it's dated. It's not considered innovative. Look at my hands. I look like a glowy... That was fun. So it may have... I think it's bordering on seeing its day. Don't know. So next up we have the Miracle Pure Skin Reset. I don't know if it says 2-in-1 or 3-in-1. 2-in-1 serum foundation. To even out skin tone, it has 2% niacinamide and I can't even read what else it has. Shade range on this is that there's such skincare, like all the other serum foundations, it's got skincare ingredients in it. There is only about 5 or 6 shades in this range. Being a skin tint, they do tend to have a lot of stretch. I've got the shade Fair to Light, which I think is the lightest that they had. Typical dropper, which I'm not the biggest fan of dropper. I'd rather have a pump. But you can see it's quite viscous, it's very runny. I'm going to put this on with a brush because if I put it on with a sponge will soak a fair bit of that product up. Because of it being a thinner product, a brush will generally work better. Yeah, that coverage is good. I'm pretty lucky, I will say, in I mean, I'm a pasty white chick, not super pale. I am at the lower end of the scale, like at the lighter end of the scale when it comes to shade selections. Normally maybe 2 to 3 up from the lighter shade sometimes, which means I generally don't have problems getting a shade that matches me. Because most brands tend to make something that works. And look, truth be told, I've got drops. I can pull the white yellowness back if something is too yellow. I've got drops to lighten products. I've got drops to darken products. The e.l.f. concealer in blue will pull the yellowness out. Lightening and darkening drops, the ones that I've got are no longer made. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I do know what I'm going to do when that is empty, and that is what I'm about to tell all of you to do if you're looking for them. Google it. Google it, you'll find them online. Just order some. Not many do them in store. You can't pick them up generally in store somewhere. I'm just using, this is just an e.l.f. brush that's got a concealer end on it, and I'm going into that serum just so I can get up because I don't have a concealer today. I really want to work that up and underneath my eyes because the brush is so big. And you don't need, here's the thing, you don't need to wear concealer every day unless you feel you need to. If you are covering up darkness, we don't always need to wear concealer. I think we get too caught up in that. I feel like I've got a scratch underneath here. Something's burning a little bit. I really hope it's just a little, I've scratched myself because my eyes were itchy yesterday and it's not a reaction to this. That'd be fun. It's all I need. It's all I need. But you can see, look. And just, it's given a really nice coverage. Actually, more coverage than what I thought. I can just see all my freckles, my pigmentation showing through. Just see. So it's still allowing my skin to show through, but it just evens out all the texture and it does give coverage. I do have a funny feeling, just looking at this, that my skin's pretty hydrated today, but I've got a funny feeling this is going to end up looking dry. I'm about to go in with a really light. I don't want to set my face too much because this product is radiant and I think I want to swirl it over at the end. No, we'll do it now. We'll do it now. So, okay, let's do this and then I'll add some hydration back in. The Max Factor Miracle Veil Radiant Loose Powder. If you saw my dupes video, the finish on this is very reminiscent of Hourglass Ambient Light. It's super finely milled. It gives a really soft blurring effect. I want to say I paid around $21. I think it's like $38 full price. We don't ever pay full price for products from the pharmacy, people. Remember to tell yourself that. If you are 3/4 of the way through a bottle and it comes on sale, pick it up then. Don't wait until it's empty and you have to pay full price. Priceline and Chemist Warehouse have enough sales to cover us with this. I have just decanted it into the lid and I'm just stamping that in. I will do a sweeping of this after, right at the end, how I use the hourglass. But at the moment we're just tapping that in and that has set down. The beauty with powders like this is that at the moment, like I will set that down with a setting spray. At the moment, it's given the blurring effect, but as makeup settles down into your skin, and it always looks better generally about an hour after you've done your makeup. It really starts, the warmth of your skin that heats it up and melts it all in, and it just becomes magical. So what I'm going to do now is, I don't have a setting spray. I'm pretty much sticking to setting sprays that I've already got here now, or that from the chemist. I mean, it's my IRL. I'm just going to stick to that for now. So what I'm going to do is set down my face with that and then prep my eyes with the MAC paint pot, and I'll be right back. That was an effort because I forgot to check everything for all the taped up parts. It came from Priceline. So of course everything was taped to high heaven. So I have the Max Factor Brow Shaper, Ultrafine Shape and Define. Pat me on the back for reading that. I have the shade Deep. Yep, Deep Brown. I'm reading that. I don't know how. I'm just guessing the words, quite frankly. Eyebrow pencils. For a micro brow, I love my ABH Brow Wiz. And I love my Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat. The Kosas, just, there's not enough in there. I like with Charlotte Tilbury that I can buy the refills. But pharmacy brands are great for brow products like this, for brow pencils, particularly micro brows. You do not need to spend a fortune on them whatsoever. And in fact, if you're spending a fortune on an eyebrow pencil, I get it with powders, I get it with gels. Some are not the same though. Got to be glued is great, and I prefer that over the Benefit, to be quite honest. But get your brow pencils from the supermarket or from the chemist, pharmacy, whatever your jam is. Save your money on those and spend your money. Like if you're going to spend a bit more money, spend it on other products. Get yourself a little treat. Because this is definitely one part of your routine that you don't need to spend money on. Because whether it's someone like Max Factor, Maybelline, Rimmel, they all do these types of micro brow pencils, and they all do fantastic brow pencils in any case. So I'd rather have more money to play in a different product. That's brushing up. This is a drier pencil, slightly drier and firmer it feels. So don't wind it up too far because you will break it, and you do that with any micro brow pencil in any case, but this is a bit drier than most. So I think that if you really, really wanted to, it looks like it looks like, not so much on this side, but it's given sort of hair-like definition to my brows. I'm not going to set them with a gel today. Right, so we're going into bronzer now, and I have the Facefinity bronzer powder in the shade Light Bronze. This is a matte. Oh, it's soft. It's not, yeah, it's soft. It's soft. It doesn't feel particularly powdery. So, let's see what the shading is like on this. When I went and purchased these, I accidentally picked up, there was a bronzer sitting in the highlight section, and I tested the highlighter, like tested the highlighter from the tester tray, and so just reached under and grabbed the product, and then got home and discovered someone had put a bronzer in there. So I had to take it back to get a highlighter, and what then happened was that the shade of highlighter that matches me was no longer there. So I've picked up one that is pretty much going to be suited for people of colour, I would imagine. We'll see how we go. It is going to throw a dark cast. It might become a blush lighter for that matter, but I do have a feeling it will be going to my nephew's girlfriend when I see her next month. So Mahiri, you are welcome. We have, they didn't have any powder blush down there, which I probably would have preferred given how I've been doing my face, because I had a couple of really, really gorgeous shades, like gorgeous shades. They just didn't have them in stock. So I have got the Miracle Pure, it's a liquid blush. The Miracle Pure Infused Cream Blush. It is a satin matte with hyaluronic acid. It is in the shade Vegan Pink. God, my hands are so shiny. With hyaluronic acid. This will be interesting. So it is in a little, that is what it looks like. Obviously, I wasn't going to stick that straight on my face. So going in, I want to work this into, like that spread out really easy. I want to work it into the brush to get it evenly in there, because I don't know how it's going to, how pigmented it is, and I'm assuming, I don't think it's going to be super pigmented. My biggest concern is that given it's got hyaluronic acid in it, it's infused, that it could break down the product. Let's see. You'll see, working it in, I'm not buffing it back. I'm stamping it with the brush. What that means is that there is no disruption, or there shouldn't be disruption to the products underneath. And it gives you greater control. Hasn't disrupted what's underneath. It is that sort of satiny matte. Not a huge, like there's no, it's a little bit of glow, but that could be the illuminating base coming out. Miracle Glow coming out underneath. That is buildable. Next up, we have the one that I am worried about, the Facefinity Highlight Powder. Now, I've got the shade Bronze Glow 003. There is a champagne and a white. This is going to be complete, as you can see. Like that looks okay that way, but the cast on it is not going to be, I mean, who am I kidding? I can't use that as a highlighter. What I can do is try and use it as a blush, blush lighter. Because as a highlighter, it's just going to throw a cast. I am going to put it on my highlighter brush, but I'm not going to place it up. Oh, hold on. Can you? So if I place it right on my blush, just on the edge of my blush, it is throwing that slight cast. but it's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. I am going in with a very gentle hand. So sort of a warm glow it's giving. I think if I went in really hard, yeah, that can work. Just a subtle, I'd really be interested in trying, I'm not going to go and buy it because I've got other products to use, but I think that for my colouring, the champagne and the number 1 and 2 would work really well. It hasn't come out as bad as what I thought. It is just a slight, you can see, slightly dark cast there, but as we move, and again, slightly dark cast there, which is exactly what I expected, but again, it is not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. Moving on to eyeshadow now, we have the Masterpiece Nude Palette. What have we got? 3, 6, 8 eyeshadows in, whoops, crappy brush, we don't worry about that, in mattes, satins and a shimmer formula. I don't hold out much hope for this. I never ever do with these types of brands, with the Revlons, with the with these Prestige brands, Maybelline. CoverGirl do one that is good though. They do the clean palettes with 4 or 5 shadows in it. Going into this really neutral beigey colour. If you like them, that's great. I just don't think that they are, to be quite honest, I think that NYX do a great, they do an 18 pan square palette that comes in multiple colour stories. So there is a super neutral one, there is neons, there is the blue jean, which is cool tone browns and blues, there's like the warm tone browns, there is one with pops of green and orange if you want some colour. They do great. If you are more this sort of subtler colour story, go the CoverGirl Clean. They are just better formulas. And for that matter, the Icon series from Makeup Revolution that they have bought out is incredible. They have a palette there that is a dupe for, in that series, one of the palettes is a dupe for the Patrick Tar Rose Dimension palette, and in my opinion performs better. So there's some options for you. This is going on, look, it's just going on, it's neither here nor there. And there's not a huge amount that I can do there, because what happens is these are all sort of satiny and they're giving me a shimmer that I don't particularly want, but we will work with. I am going to go in first up, because I'll buff this over the top of it. I'm going to go into this dark brown matte and get some placement. Then I'm going to put that satin finish. Sometimes satins will work really well. Other times they can be so aging, and that's part of the problem that can date some products. If you are using a really basic colour story and it is a satin and not a great performing satin product, it's going to look dated, it will look cheap, and it will also be aging on your eyelids, more so than shimmers, because shimmers we will only place on our mobile lid on this area here, but satins we bring up here a bit, and that's where it can age us. This, as you can see, I keep dipping into this, is not giving me a huge amount. And this is where I've been spoilt for choice. And I want to say you know, I've got a lot of really expensive, and at the moment obviously playing in the Natasha palette. So however, all those palettes that I just mentioned, I do not need to work like this with. They have the payoff that comes in quite quickly. This is taking a bit of effort, which means the concern that I have then is that this will start to get muddy really quickly. I just keep working this in. It's looking a bit patchy too. Here's the other concern, and it shouldn't do that. It's just not wanting to move around on my face. It's pain. Because look, don't get me wrong, clearly I've come into this going, ugh, but I do love it when a product proves me wrong. I'm going to try and fix up, because this I normally could blend out really easily. I'm going into this burgundy-ish shade, which is a satin. And we'll use this to soften the blend. So see how that's quite harsh at the moment. And I don't like that. Some people are happy to leave their makeup like that. I don't like it that harsh. I like there to be a really soft fluid transition. So using this to do it and going in lightly with it. Now pulling that forward. And then back into our very first shade, which was this here, the second lightest. Because we know we go back to build and blend. So that's a gold, a rose, and then that's, I don't know what that's meant to be. That's that gold shimmer it's meant to be. So what I am going to do is going to go in first with this burgundy and go in here on the outer corner. Now going in with, oh, clean my fingers off properly, Teresa. Yes, I did rub it on my top. Going into this satin now, which is this lightish champagne-y shade. Bring that up a bit. And here we go. You know what? America, you are not missing out on much with this one. Now we have a matte off-white down here. I'm going to, this is a flat packing brush, and I'm going to put this in the corner to lighten up in the corner. Jelly's just faffing about near me, shocker. And again, like this, I'm dipping in. And this is a matte. I shouldn't need to spray this. You should only need to do that with shimmers. But there you go. So I've just lightened up in there. Now going in with this gold and seeing what happens here. I'm really building that up on my finger. Oh, this makes me nervous. Is it doing anything? Has it really done much? Not particularly. If anything, I think it's darkened it a bit. Right. All right, I am going to do under my eyes in just a second, but first up we have, oh, cleaning my fingers because I'm about to touch my face. First up we have the Max Factor Kohl pencil. This is in the shade Brown, designed for your waterline because it's a kohl pencil. So this is a reddy brown. Not mad at it. Underneath the eyes now we are, oh, I'm really nervous. No, I was going to use that under the eye. I'm not going to because I'm really concerned that it just will not buff out. I am going into the black, however, and just trying to work this in along the lash line a bit. I'm confident in going, it's not going to give me a black eyeliner because they're not super blendable, but you can see it's just added a little bit of depth to my lash line whilst not giving me a look of having any eyeliner on as such there. So that's okay. Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm really nervous about, I really don't want to have to really work with that brown. I am going to dip into it, but I'm going to dip into that satin as well. Whoops, going all over the place there. Not using a liner brush to put it on, just using a flattish, firmer brush. So I can just work that under the eye. That's probably the best way to use it, just because it's not super blendable. Now, and I'm just dipping back into that dark brown once more with this, just to go over that outer corner, because look, to be quite honest, it is what it is. Saying that I hate. So that's what I have in the product so far. What I'm going to go and do now is finish getting ready. Oh no, hold on. What I do want to do first up is use this Miracle Veil once more. Getting a super fluffy brush. Let's get a really big one. This is just a Morphe one. It's massive. So, and I do think that this probably needs this over it. So just working it into, have dipped it back into the lid, working it into the brush. And just going all over the face now. Because what this is, it's a radiant, it's blurring. It's going to melt all of these products together, blend them all together. Wasn't a huge amount that I put in that, was only a small amount. But it's going to blur everything together. What I'm going to do is go and do mascara, like I'll set my face down again, mascara, lips. I'm just going to use a Morphe lip pencil and MK Beauty lip oil, just a standard mascara. And I'm going to get dressed for work and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the final look. Look, it's not terrible. Like, it's not terrible. You saw how much work. I'm pretty good with making eyeshadow palettes work. This took a lot of work. Quite frankly, there are better products from the pharmacy than this. There's a heap better products than that. Skip it. Skip it. This is not bad. If you like a liquid blush and a matte blush, that is actually quite nice. I really think I would have preferred the powder one in this instance though. I love this. This is going to be in firm circulation at the moment. The Miracle Veil for sure. What else? Obviously, I've had this for a while. I've had this for quite a while. It's quite thick. It's one you can skip. Loved the brow pencil, loved the kohl pencil. Grab those, they are fantastic. This didn't end up too bad. I very, very clearly got the wrong colour. That being said, I think that you could go for, well, there's quite a few. The Revlon Skin Lights, Maybelline do stuff. There are other brands for the price. Don't pay full price for that ever. It is a subtle highlighter though. The bronzer, this bronzer, love it, was great. Definitely keeping that in rotation. This foundation, first impression is it's really quite nice, but I do think it's probably overpriced for what it is. I don't know how it's going to wear, but as a comparison, first impressions, I have all of these that you can get. You know, the L'Oreal True Match Serum, fantastic. The Revlon Illuminant Serum Tint, amazing, super hydrating. This one might be better if you are more combo to oily, in actual fact, thinking of it that way. But I love that. The Rimmel Kind and Free Skin Tint, love that. But as far as comparable with this, for me personally, I still think the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint is one of the best products on the market. Spendy, savvy. This is the only foundation that I have repurchased in the last 12 months. I used a whole bottle last year. And the Revolution Skin Silk Serum Foundation, which is a dupe for the Makeup by Mario. I'd pick these two over this one, but that being said, as I just mentioned, if you are more combo to oily, this might be the one for you. I just feel like my skin's going to feel a bit dry by the end of the day, but I will wait and see. My friends overseas, where Max Factor is no longer available. Come here, come here, come here. You're not missing anything. It's okay. It's okay. So, on that note, Jelly, it's right behind me, going, and oh, she's licking my hand now. Jelly and myself would like to say, don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends. I had to grab it because she kept eating at my hand, didn't you, darling? Don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends. Come along, subscribe, hang out. What do you reckon? Should they? I love you. I love you. Until next time, my loves, take care. Bye.